Alright, so hopefully the volume it's a little loud for me. Hopefully it's okay for you guys. I'll lower it on my end. But to start off, we've got Pusan versus, well, let's go back here. Oh, I had it open. Let's go back here. Pusan versus Kwanro. And I'm actually really looking forward to this match because Pusan is a solid player for sure, or was in the past. He was a big name at times. Just very, like, consistent. Always saw him in pro leagues, things like that, but nothing huge of note to his name that is worth pointing out, at least that I can remember. He likes to smell his fingers. That's important. But let me see real quick. I don't want to actually give you guys false information, and it's too easy to look up while they do a little intro, and then we'll skip ahead to the video most likely. But so we're gonna search for, let's see, Wikipedia, Broodwar, Pusan. Where's the search bar? There it is. Pusan. Alright, so he's won. Okay, his best placing is 3rd place in the 2005 OSL. Or actually, and 4th in the 2005 SO1, Season 1, I guess, OSL. And he lost to I Love OOV. And he's also gotten 3rd place in a Sonic TV BJ Star League. I don't think they know the connotations that has, but that's okay. So, nothing spectacular, like I said, but not terrible either. Again, just a very consistent player and did great on, like, the pro leagues as someone who could win games regularly. Obviously had some matchups that were better than others. I'm not sure if they've got his recent match history. I don't see it, and that's okay. I don't think we really need to go through it because that's kind of out of date stuff anyway. So let's get into it. Kwanro, on the other hand, by the way, let's see. I should look up him too while we're at it, don't I? Shouldn't I? Kwanro has won nothing either. He came in 2nd in the 2009 Avalon MSO. So it looks like these guys are going to be playing on Fighting Spirit, which is cool. Was it Fighting Spirit or is that Demian? No, that's Fighting Spirit. Pretty sure. Someone will yell at me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Fighting Spirit. He's come in 3rd in the Nate MSL in 2000 and that's span 2009-10. He lost to Flash, so not surprisingly, Flash was pretty much unbeatable during that time frame. And he came in 4th in the Sonic TV Star League at some point, in the 9th Sonic TV Star League, where he won $282. I don't know why they pointed that one out. But anyway, not a hugely successful career, but 2nd's not bad, even if it was only once. MSL is a big name tournament, and not many people can claim 2nd place in an MSL. Although there certainly are people who can claim many of them. But it looks like we're going to get right into it. I'll try to put a timestamp below in the YouTube video to tell you when the games start, so you can skip some of my nonsense that you don't want to hear. And let the game begin. Man, these guys look good in suits, right? Again, this is sponsored by Hungry App, and that's the company that Yellow has been a part of. Where Yellow, I'm not sure if it was Yellow or someone else on this team, but that's okay. So Pusan, starting off in the bottom left, Pusan is the Yellow Protoss player. And again, this is a 4-player map, Fighting Spirit, where we've got 4 fairly consistent and symmetrical spawns. Though I think with any map, it doesn't matter how symmetrical it is, it always seems to have certain advantages that other maps don't. And there is our man, Kwanro. He is a very aggressive player, borderline cheese player. So we may or may not see a short game here. I have no idea. I didn't look at the length of any of these. And I think that's his strength, actually, is very aggressive plays. He's been called, like, mini July Zerg and things like that. When he's on, and when he's aggressive, he's got a very July Zerg aggressiveness type of play style. And that's how he's done best in the past. So, you know, it's definitely one of those things where he should probably play to his strengths. Pusan, on the other hand, you know, I can't remember his playstyle much. Again, he was never that big of a name, so he just never lost that big of an impression or left that big of an impression. But I would imagine he'll just go fairly standard. It's nice to get this free expansion with a fairly easy wall off as Protoss. Pylon, Gateway, and either a Forge or just another, I think it's a Forge. Is it a Forge, or maybe the Pylon leaves a small enough gap for him? And then they can always destroy one of the Pylons later. Kwanro going to get his expansion down right away as well. He's going to have that down, I think, before his pool. I don't see another building there yet. So yeah, he probably went, what is it in Brood War? 12 hatch or 13 hatch? I can't remember. You guys have to tell me. I have to actually install it and start playing again. It's been a while since I've played, and it's always a good time. So I actually I kind of want to play it now, just talking about it. And the install is probably what, like 300 megabytes or something. I installed the game on Steam the other day that was 22 gigabytes. So I think I can handle the StarCraft. I actually have my StarCraft CD somewhere still too. And it actually would be faster, I think, to download it from Battle.net than try to find the CD and install it. Zealot going across the map to scout and put some pressure on that expansion. I think that's a good idea. One, it'll put Kwanro on the defensive ever so slightly until he gets enough forces out to deal with it. And this, you know, the Zealot and the Probe combo, before you get +1 attack on Zealots, allows you to two-shot Lings with your Zealot. So often you'll see Zerglings focus down the Probe first, because it doesn't seem like a big fear factor, but it can contribute a lot to a Zealot taking out 4 or 5 things that it might not have otherwise. It also typically will block off some section of the Zealot so that he can't get a full surround on the Zealot. And keep in mind, you know, probes, they don't draw aggro in the same way that probes of StarCraft 2 do, I don't think. I'm pretty sure that it was a little bit differently set up. Zealot goes down early, though, almost for free. I think he only took out 2, maybe 3 Zerglings. And he loses the probe, which the probe was a sunk investment, so that's not too big of a deal. But we've got a decent amount of Zerglings heading across the map, so if Kwanro sees this, he can block off. I'm sorry, if Pusan sees this, he can block off and avoid Kwanro's run-by. But he doesn't see it yet, I don't think. Oh, wait. He's got it clogged up now. Zealots are heading out to deal with this, and he should be able to deflect it pretty easily. But Kwanro still might go for a run-by. I don't think that's fully walled off. The question is... Oh, maybe it is. Maybe it is. The clipping of the cliffs can sometimes be very... Oh, he gets the run-by. He doesn't need to get by the outside of it or anything. He just gets straight in through the gap that the Zealot left. So Pusan is probably going to lose some probes here. And Kwanro, if he gets speed, he's going to put Pusan very far behind. Going after the gas mining probes is always a good tactic. Gas is critical in pretty much every matchup, but specifically so in Protoss as they try to go things like Corsair or get range upgrade for Dragoons. And Dragoons, I'm pretty sure, are, what, 125-50 in StarCraft Brood War? So it can be painful. And it might get a couple more probes here. He's going to keep running away from the Zealots, it looks like. And he is taking some free pot shots. But he's delaying some level of mining for Pusan. And that's kind of a big deal. I mean, that's going to add up over time. The Zealot has, in the meantime, made it over to the expansion base. And this is going to be difficult for Kwanro to defend in turn. He is trying to get a cannon down. Probes are off the line to help defend this. Loses 1 probe, loses a 2nd probe, but cleans up the rest of the attack. And suddenly Pusan looking much better, as he may take out an investment of a hatchery and all of these Lings for Kwanro. Though, Kwanro might get a good surround up here. He's going up the ramp, but no, the ramp is now pretty well protected by these Zealots, but he lets him up anyway. Good surround, and he's probably going to clean up those Zealots. Yeah, he takes them out. A few more Zealots are heading over. I don't think he's going to be able to accomplish much with just 2 Zealots, and he is going to back off. So at this point, it looks like Kwanro is investing in tech. He hasn't got much in the way of economy. We do have a Citadel and Stargate down for Pusan, so definitely the gas harassment will have put him back a little bit from the earlier attacks of Kwanro. But he's got a pretty good wall off, so if he can delay long enough to deal with the Muta, he's going to be in good shape. And if Pusan can keep harassing enough where he has to keep investing in Zerglings to defend that expansion, that's going to delay the amount of muta he can make. Obviously, just you only have so much larva. But we see some muta morphing in right now. My guess is those are muta, based on our last snapshot of where the spire was. And those zealots will be free zealots. But still, they also act as a delay tactic. The spire is indeed done. It looks like he may have 5 muta popping out at this point. I don't see anywhere in the map where they're showing the resources of each player, unfortunately. It'd be nice if they turned that on. And there's no cannons in the base for Pusan, so he may be trying to rely on a Corsair or two, but a group of muta will take out low numbers of Corsairs fairly easily. Alright, second cannon is going down at this point. He's going to cross paths with 3 muta. I'm not sure there's any Dragoons in his base either. And the first muta have arrived, and they're going to get some free hits on the economy of Pusan. Pusan is going to try to deal with them with this Corsair, but it's just tickling him at the moment with just 1 Corsair. Though it is taking him down to about half, and Kwanro is investing heavily. We've got Scourge here, and it looks like he might have lost 1 muta as well. So more Scourge out. I think it's 2 Scourge at the moment to take out each Corsair. Zealot's moving back in to deal with this hatchery. Smart to try to draw him back and deal with those. Buys him just a little bit of time to make even another Corsair or 2. And he does have his Templar Archives out, so we're going to be seeing some Archons very shortly, which will make the muta play much more difficult. With 3 Corsairs, he's also going to be able to take out a pack of mutas. Well, it'll take a little bit to take out the pack of mutas, but it'll be a big deterrence. But Kwanro is going down the front, and no, he decides that he's going to go into the middle after all. Good cannon protection at this point. We've got 2 in the main base, which is enough to... Oh! Beautiful! Beautiful micro there by Pusan. There's a trick where you can use the Corsairs, and if you keep moving them on like 45-degree angles, the Scourge actually stall out, and they don't keep their pathing and movement. Great split from Kwanro, though, as he takes out the Corsairs, and this renders the Corsairs fairly useless. He is going to get a couple of kills yet. Oh, he's got him down to 3. What else is low? 1 more down. And 2 muta will definitely take out Corsair. But another one pops out, and Kwanro at this point is starting to lose all of these 100 mutas. He's got a few more coming out, and some more Scourge, which will certainly take care of the last couple of Corsairs. But he bought enough time for another cannon, which may clear up that last muta. No, he just barely gets out, and will also protect the Corsair from Scourge. So Kwanro's going to have to back off. He doesn't have enough. There is a DT out on the field as well, which is going to be great if he wants to finish off that third base of Kwanro's. But Kwanro's going back, and it looks like he might be making a Spore or something. Oh, he's got an Overlord there, so I always forget that Overlords can see in Broodwar, so that'll take me a little bit to get used to. So he's going to spot that DT coming in, and he'll probably take that out for free. As he morphs into Sunken, or at least get some shots and fully deter him from trying to come in on the base. And he is going to go for a surround, but he doesn't have Overlord speed, so he's going to get away to fight another day. Instead, he's going to probably scout out other bases and just get some free units in the middle where possible. At this point, Pusan's got the Archon out on the field, which is going to be great. He's got +1 attack on the Zealots. I would imagine at this point he's got Zealot speed, though he has invested a lot of gas into those Corsairs, so it may have been slightly delayed. Looks like mutas are going to continue to do some harassment. Corsairs pushing him back, but Scourge coming in, and he gets 1! Does he get a second one? He's going for the Archon. The Archon is there for backup, but he doesn't get there because the Archon is getting blocked out. He's getting gateway blocked by the... Oh, man. So, free reign in there by the muta. He's going to be able to take out a lot of probes, taking down the Zealot, and any more Corsairs. Pusan forced to go for a counter to try to draw the forces away. Muta may try to take out a couple more cannons, but instead he gets a free Corsair. They'll go back to the expansion or for defense. Sunken's morphing in. Just creep colonies at this point, so it might do enough damage here to really force Kwanro back. Kwanro does indeed decide to go back. Now we've got an Archon to back up, and suddenly Kwanro is in big danger of losing this base. That Archon is going to really push back those muta. They're going to have a difficult time dealing with it, especially as he gets towards a +2 attack. Still on +1 though. More Muta coming in, and it's going to be too much for that Archon with a decent spread by Kwanro, and indeed he does go down, cleans up that attack, but gives enough room to breathe for Pusan to throw down another cannon to try to block off his front and his expansion. 4, 5, 6 gateways down for Pusan. I'm wondering at this point if he's going to break his front gateway or pylon or forge or whatever. Mutas are back in full force at this point. It looks like he's getting close to about 12 there now. And keeping a fairly good split against those Corsairs so they don't do mass damage. There's no reason to group them up at this point, and you can see that that lead Muta is really drawing away a lot of the attacks, but those Corsairs are doing good damage. More Muta flooding in, however, and those 3 Corsairs are going to have to back off until he can get either more Archon support or cannons down, but there are Zealots in the base as well, so he really can't deal with this. Instead, he opts for the counterattack, which once again pulls Kwanro back, but he's very far behind. Kwanro is still mining at all of his bases with the exception of some drones that are blocking off the attack from the Zealots here. But with the Muta coming back, they're going to clean that up very quickly. He's not going to lose that many drones. And now he's back to 3 bases mining. Pusan, on the other hand, he's only on 1 base mining and only gas on his expansion. So this can be a scary position for him to come back from. And if Kwanro doesn't overextend, he should have pretty good control of this game. A few more Zealots appear to be going over for the counterattack, but Muta are in, and they're going to focus down that Archon before he can pop, and no damage is going to be taken. Oh, he does get a couple of shots out, and big enough damage where he takes out 3 Muta. But 3 more Muta join the fight, and they almost take out the cannon before backing off as they realize they're taking fairly heavy damage from the Corsairs. Corsairs grouped over the cannons for good measure and protection. It's essentially the shield battery for Corsairs almost. I know it doesn't really make sense, but protection anyway. More Scourge out on the field, so more micro required by Pusan to deal with that. Continuing to just keep up the pressure on that expansion. However, the Sunken stays alive, and he's going to be able to block that off very easily at this point with those Lings. And this Zealot attack is not going to do anything as he loses those Zealots essentially for free. Oh, he does take out the Sunken. Okay, I didn't expect that one. And Kwanro goes back in, but no, he's overextended. There's a very good force to deal with that. The Corsairs are doing a beautiful job microwave away from it. They do take some hits from the Scourge, but the Scourge are going down to the cannons, and it looks like those Corsairs might actually make it out alive. And the Mutas are pushed back once again to deal with the expansion attack. And Pusan is staying in this game somehow. The question is, how long can he deal with this low econ against the 3 base, going on 4 base Zerg? Now, that 4th base can be very exposed and hard to defend for the Zerg. However, at this point, Pusan doesn't even know about it, and his options are limited. He can keep going after the main base, or he can try to go all the way across his map and take out or do some damage to the natural expansion, but it seems unlikely. He does try to sneak out a probe, probably for an expansion of his own, but there's a Ling on it, so it's never going to get anywhere, and he's forced to break out at this point. Now, he does have a couple of Archons, and they do have the +2 upgrade attack, so this can get hairy for Kwanro if he does a poor job of engaging out in the map. But he has switched to Hydrotech to deal with the Zealots and the Archons. My guess is he'll probably get Lurkers out as well, but he also has the economy where he can make these types of calls and just sit him back behind there as he keeps Pusan on the back foot. But Pusan is not going to wait for him. He is going forward for this attack, sees that there's 3 Sunkens, and decides to go for the natural. And now, this is some serious pressure on Kwanro because he's going to have to pull back the Muta. His Muta are actually still at his 3rd base. He hasn't seen yet. The Overlords don't appear to have spotted. He just sees it now, and he's going to try to come in from behind. There's a lot of Hydras here already on the floor, but again, we've got the +2 upgrades, but the Archon is acting like an idiot, and he can't get in to do any damage. Takes out the Sunken. AI lets them finally get in for some attacks, but no, they're still doing nothing. Scourge coming in from the backside, but they all get cleaned up. It looks like they might have taken out 1 Corsair. Kwanro is trying to micro this as best he can. Some more Speed Zealots, though, coming from behind, and he's going to have a difficult time. There is 1 Zealot on the Sunken, and it looks like Kwanro is going to clean this up. The Mutas have come back, the Hydras are taking out the Archon, and he's going to have to back off. But he did relieve some pressure from his front door, enough so that he can try to expand. I'm not sure if he knows that there is a Overlord there. It looks like he does as he's throwing down what appears to be a couple of cannons to block off that ramp. But Hydras are now threatening the front door of Pusan, who has to back off and figure out Does he attack? Does he defend? What is he going to do here? He does manage to take out a free Overlord with those Corsairs, but that is of little consequence this late in the game with the force that we're seeing coming from Kwanro. Kwanro looks like he's going to finally break down that front door, although we have a nice flank coming in from the Zealots and the Archon. Muta going right into the Archon fight, and it looks like Corsairs are going to clip him from behind, and he forces him back pretty easily. Again, the upgrades, he's got +1 upgrade on the Corsairs as well. And I haven't seen the upgrades on the Hydra. I haven't been paying attention, so hopefully they click on one at some point, and we can see what's going on. And now, Pusan has finally got an upgrade or an expansion of his own. The question is, has that base on the bottom right started being upgraded here? More Scourge are out. It looks like he may lose a couple more Overlords in the process. He takes out the Scourge, no problem. He gets a few more free Muta. He might lose a Corsair or two, but it doesn't matter because this is big dollar Overlord clumps here that he can go after. But there's enough Hydras here where he's going to be deterred from going after the rest of them. But he's going to scout the 4th by doing so. And this is now a position that Kwanro doesn't want to be in. He's been exposed. His plans have been exposed, and Pusan is probably going to keep the pressure on. More Overlord hunting going on. I'd love to see what the supply is at, but there's certainly a cost being incurred here. Looks like Corsairs are going to get a few more Overlords as Zealots run into their deaths against these Hydras. No micro. Alright, there's the micro from Kwanro here to try to deal with some of this. And Pusan takes some fairly heavy casualties for not a lot of gain there. Again, I think, Pusan was in a good position, but now it looks like he may have overextended. Now, part of the Overlord clearing is clearly for the DTs coming out, but he's only got 2 on the field. Good Storm. He's going to get a lot of Hydras backing off there, and the DT is going to get some free kills, but the Archon goes down. One Corsair is not going to take out the new speed, the new and improved speed Overlords for Kwanro. And Kwanro is once again pressuring Pusan, and ooh, rough storm there, but the storm actually ends up getting a lot of Hydras, and more than it ever deserved to get from some, what I would call a misplay from Kwanro. Maybe a slight miss micro. He pulled them straight back instead of to the side, and they got caught in the storm and tripping over each other. Corsairs continuing to keep map control in general against these Overlords that keep trying to peek in on him. And now once again Kwanro is pushing down the middle, and he still has those 4 unharassed mineral lines while Pusan is still basically on 2. The reason he's on 2 is because he's mined out at his main. Now the one thing he does have going for him is the DTs if he can take out the Overlords, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen now that Kwanro's dedicated 3 in the attack pack. He also, I'm not sure he's got any observers out on the field. I don't see any yet. We hear the lurker. We see the lurker. Pusan sees a lurker, and now he's once again being pushed back into the confines of his own base. It's like Attack on Titan, man. He can't leave the walls. They're all over him. As soon as he goes out, one of them just takes a big chunk right out of him. So Pusan backing off once again, and in a little bit of trouble. Hey, SC Bird, I can see the chat. Could I move the minor window to the lower right? Yeah, I can do that. Good call. Apologize for waiting for that for so long. I didn't even think about it. Good call. I'll move this too. I know we're missing a battle here. Some storms going on, and DTs are in the main base. They must have dropped those in while I was playing with the webcam. We got a new Templar out there, but he's going to get picked off by the Hydras. That was a big pick-off. A nice storm could go down from the side here. He might get a couple of lurkers with the Hydras. He gets all of the Hydras. He's got observers out now, and it looks like the Zealots are going to try to run by to draw the spikes out so that the rest of them can get a good position on those lurkers. The lurkers go down. Strong force coming from Pusan's main base at this point. And once again, Pusan relieves the pressure by putting on some of his own and finally get some economic harassment in there with the DTs. But it looks like they've been cleaned up, and I'm not sure what the total amounted to at the end of that battle. He is at +3 upgrades at this point, as they're pointing out. Finally breaking down his front door, so he's got an easy way in and out. And also devalues the front door attacks from the Hydras, trying to pick that down. Zealots running into a large group of Hydras. Observer hanging out in the middle, seeing that there are no... Wow, he was out of energy, forced to make an Archon with those Templar. Gets one storm out. It was an okay storm, and this is going to turn out pretty well for the Zerg player, it looks like. Unless the Archon can kill everything, which I don't think is going to be the case. Dragoons are coming out at this point. You can see that Pusan's economy has never gotten that strong, and he's being forced back once again by Kwanro, who is probably considering a 5th base at this point. And I'm not sure there's much that Pusan can do about it. He's been relegated to running back and forth between his expansion and his third base. It looks like at this point Kwanro is making inroads into the main base, taking out the last cannon. He is continuing to lose Hydras, but it doesn't matter. A large force coming in, and this may be the beginning of the end for Pusan as he loses another expensive Templar, has to run back his Dragoons that are not able to get much damage in here at all. The only thing he's really got going for him are the +3 attack, but again, I haven't seen what the Hydras are at, so it may be... He's got +2 attack as well, so they're doing good damage against the Hydras, but they're getting taken out quickly as well. More Scourge out to deal with any more Corsairs. That is probably the only thing that can bring him back into this game at this point, is some good DT play, but as long as he's got a handle on that, I'm not sure Pusan has an avenue to get back into this. So, once again, Kwanro streaming in Zerg units. Looks like he's going to just continue chipping away at the forge here. Pusan is essentially on one mining base at this point. He has mined out at his natural, and it's not looking good. He can't get out of his base for long enough to get a fourth. There's no way he can, unless he can sneak it in, but he's not going to even have the resources, as he's just trying to spend all his resources defending here. They take out the Observer. That's going to make it very difficult to deal with whatever lurkers that Kwanro's got left here. And I think Pusan is just going for a very slow and painful death. He is officially mined out, and there is the GG from Pusan. All right. Well played by Kwanro. I think he definitely did keep the aggression on that entire time, which was well done by him. I think that's exactly what he needed to do that game. And Pusan just could never get out enough to really make inroads. I like the plain white tee there under the the blazer. Very nice contrast. I'm not sure I would have gone with that, but hey, it is probably very hot in those booths under the lights, though, so I'm not sure there's much you can do. So good game by those guys. Looks like they're going to have a review and interview. Let's go skip to the girl talking rather than these guys. Ooh! She's looking good today. I wonder if Kwanro's intimidated. No, he's not intimidated. He's Kwanro! He knows how to deal with this type of woman. You be aggressive. That's his style. That's the only thing he's got. I have no idea what they're saying. I'm not really sure why we're watching this other than, you know, checking out the girl who's talking. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that game. I'm going to cut it here, and we'll get into more games soon. Thanks for watching. Next up, we've got Buy Movie versus... Ooh, I didn't even look to see who he's playing against. Hold on a second here. Buy Movie versus Killer. And Killer apparently is like the second highest rated of the players these days. So we've got a PvZ coming up, which is very exciting. We just watched the PvZ, but I actually love PvZ. It's my favorite matchup because I used to be a Protoss player, and my most fun matchup was Zerg. So let's skip ahead here a little bit. We'll check out the map. It looks like they're playing on Circuit Breaker, which is a 4-player spawn map. And as you watch this game, you'll see that there are multiple elevations. I think there's a total of 3 elevations. Main base, natural, that weird middle area, and then it goes down 2 levels from there. Or maybe it is just 2 levels. I don't know. It's really not that important. What is important is the main base and the natural are fairly easy to defend. And then the third becomes progressively more difficult. There's some... Well, let's go back for a quick second here. There's a couple of roads that you can defend here, but you can see the large ramp to the third. So, yeah, it becomes more difficult. So let's skip ahead to the game here. Straighten our cameras out, make sure everybody's in view. Everyone's got their stylish red headphones, where I'm just sitting here with my lame black ones. I actually really like these headphones. And let's get into it. Kamasibida! Hey, Himida! Oh, they've got intro videos. Oh, they're getting right into it. Okay. Look at those dressed up. I was going to say young Broodwar players, but they're not young anymore. They're all middle-aged, actually. Well, not middle-aged, but, you know. In the gamer's lifespan, they're actually all middle-aged. Most of them are in their 20s, if not late 20s. I love that. SD. Making some drones. Alright, so spawning in the... They're going to start on the bottom right. We've got the Protoss player, Buy.Movie. Buy that movie. Buy my movie. And movie, let me bring him up while we talk about the start of the game, and things are a little bit slow, is going up against this fine gentleman, Killer, who, by the way, is at like a 67% win rate in the post-StarCraft 2 Brood War scene era, something like that. I'm not sure how you would really classify it, but yeah. Anyway, movie, any noticeable accomplishments for him? He did come in second in the 2009-2010 ever OSL. He lost to Flash. Can't really blame him. I mean, everyone lost to Flash, so it's not like that was a terrible person to lose to. He came in second in minor tournaments, where he won $21. I'm not sure where that's even listed. And he's won a couple of SOSPA ranked tournaments where he actually won 200,000 won, which I think is actually a decent amount. I don't really know what that converts to. I guess I could do that real quick. 2,000 Korean, won to USD. Oh, it's $180. Not nearly as much as I thought. Well, that makes a big difference. He also won about 1,800 in a third-place finish to Kwanro in a Sonic TV Star League, the 9th Sonic TV Star League. What's interesting about that is he lost to a Zerg player, so he's going up against a very good Zerg player, Killer, who, any notable finishes for Killer worth mentioning? Yeah, he's won a couple of Sonic TV Star Leagues in first place, beating Haya and Larva convincingly. A 3-1 finish and a 4-1 finish. He won 4 million and 5 million won in those two. Let's see what that equates to, because I can't do the math that quick in my head. $5 million. Actually, it's $4,500. That's a pretty good finish, actually, for a Brood War tournament, I would think. Maybe it's not, but to me it is. Anyway, it looks like we've got an expansion coming out for the Protoss player, and the Zerg doing the same, of course. Some Lings out on the map as well. Try to get some sort of board control as he goes after the... well, he will be going after the probe, unknowingly to him, and as he runs right by it. He tries to hide a couple of Lings, but they're going to see him. That cannon's coming down, and he should be able to defend this pretty easily. I'm not sure he's leaving enough space, though, for a Zealot to block or what he's trying to do. There may be a run by. Nah, it's very unlikely. He's got a probe there to hang out. 3 probes to hang out and block all of the gaps that might see a run by come in. He's going to get a good scout and a good eye on what's going on for the base in the base of Killer. What he's not going to see is that hidden across the map expansion in the natural of one of the other... or actually, is that the natural or the third? I think it's the natural, yeah, of the natural of one of the other spawns. In the meantime, not too much going on. I mean, he's going to throw down that assimilar and grab some tech. So while he does that, I'll also talk. I'll talk some more about Killer. He's got a lot of finishes in Brood War here in minor tournaments of first, second, second, first, second, first, second, 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 first. So. And he beat guys like C, Shuttle, Modesty, Mind, Hero. Those are all big names, as well as Sexy. I don't know who Sexy is. It should be Firebat Hero, but it's probably not. It'd be nice if it was, but I think we all know that it's not. So, you like Movie? Yeah, Movie's cool, man. He's got a cool name anyway. I think he tries to pull off that movie star look. You know, the tall, dark, and Korean. Lair going down for the Zerg player. Probably going to go into Mutatech, as we've been seeing is very common here. That hidden expansion, still hidden. Doesn't look like Movie has any clue that that's going on at this point. And I'm not sure he's willing to send anything out to try to scout that far with the Zerglings out on the map. There's a good chance he'll lose any scout. But there is... Oh, wow. Actually, there is a probe heading in that direction slowly. I think that... he is going to spot it. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, I don't know if he ever saw it. I don't know if he actually saw it. I think he's just trying to get it home away from the Zergling. Oh, I have no clue. We can't see his vision. He's still just defending back at home, getting his Stargate up to deal with Muta, and there's the Spire coming down. So that is definitely the build against Protoss for this tournament at the very least. That probe still running around up top, evading the Zerglings for... eternity, or at least until they get speed. More Zerglings coming to try to surround him, and they do a pretty good job. It looks like they're going to take him out. One more hit, and he is gone. I am not sure if you saw that expansion or not. That's huge. 4th hatchery going down, so we may see a lot of Zerglings in production as he gets Mutatech up to go with that. So we might see a double hit up at the front door, but he's got pretty good defense even with the single cannon, with those Zealots hiding in the wings. But he's got enough of a gap where if the Muta can take out that single cannon and push the Zealots back, he can get a very easy run by and do some damage in the natural. A 5th hatchery going down now for the Zerg player, and potentially a 6th, depending. No, okay, he's going to mine, or he's going to build an Evo chamber. It looks like way in the back there, or maybe it's a sunken. It doesn't matter. Templar Archives down as well. Obviously, he's got the Citadel of Adun already if he's going to build that, and I would imagine that means that he's going Zealot Archon, getting some speed for those Zealots, so that he can match up against this this Spire or this Muta Zergling play. Corsair out on the field, going to try to get a few Mutas, or a few Overlords for free, I should say, and then defend against the Mutas. There's not much that Killer can do against the Corsairs until he gets those Scourge out, which he just did. He's got a few out, but you saw they are micro a bolt. However, at low numbers, they're really not. I've seen players who are able to micro all the way around back to a cannon across the entire map, but that becomes progressively harder to do it's just hard to do with a fewer number of Corsairs. So he's going to hang out over that cannon for the time being. The Scourge are going to get a good scout of what's going on in the main base. No surprises there. He's going to see the DT with that Overlord up at the front of his natural. +1 is underway for the Zealots and the Ground Army in general for the Protoss player movie. So I'm not sure how far off the timing is. It looks like the +1 comes slower than I would have imagined, but it makes sense when you consider he gets both his Templar Archives so quickly and Corsairs out. So it's just going to be slow. Yes, they are bringing Sexy back. Actually, I'm not sure the last time he played. It looks like it was quite a while ago. Back in 2012, so maybe they're not bringing Sexy back. They might be better off if Killer killed bringing Sexy back. Sorry for the YouTubers having to listen to my lame inside jokes with the stream. But if you're not here, you should be. You should be hanging out while we do some Broodwar casting. Because man, this is what it's all about. Hydra Den is down, so we've got an easy tech switch available for Killer whenever he's ready for it. I like getting that just at the ready. He's probably got Lurker Tech on the way, or soon to be. Scourge coming out, and they're going to connect with a couple of Corsairs, down to 2. I think he lost 2 out of the 4 on that one. He's got +1 upgrade, so he is going to be able to defend easier against the Scourge and the Muta. He's got a total of 5, but those Corsairs have to make it all the way home to meet up with their brethren to defend against the incoming Muta harassment and attack. There's also some Lings out on the floor. It looks like they're running around, or are those Muta? It's hard to tell based on where they are. No, those are Lings. Okay. And they're going to go for a run by. They're going to get in and maybe get a surround on that cannon. No! He doesn't get the full thing. He goes back to micro at his base. However, he is going to take out the cannon, and that is going to leave those Scourge an opportunity, an opening to deal with the Corsair that now have nowhere to hide. However, he is going to get the gas of the Zerg player here, and I'm not sure how much Killer cares, as he's going to go into the base and get some free probes. Although the Archon is doing the same, he's in a beautiful position. Nothing is getting back there except for some Muta potentially. The 3rd base, however, is mining, and he is getting solid income, even losing a few drones there. But that was a little bit of a messy play. I must admit, he took much more casualties than I was expecting him. Probably because he's got Lings in the main base. However, I mean, this is the skill cap ceiling that you see in Broodwar. There are things and misplays that get made. Zergling on the Dragoon that is bugged out and unable to attack, finally getting the Zergling after losing its entire shield and taking some hull damage. Dragoon's trying to move out to join the rest of this force. The Sunken is finally morphing in, but not before the Archon gets his 12th kill. And now he's going to have to move in and do some damage here if he's going to keep that force behind the mineral line. It looks like he's going to do exactly that. He can get at least that 1 sunken and then back off. But no, he's going in with the Dragoons, but the Dragoons are going to get surrounded by the Zerglings from behind. And if you didn't know, Zerglings take out Dragoons very effectively and efficiently. He loses his entire force here. And even the reinforcements look like they're going to be lost if they decide to go in anymore. More Dragoons coming in to defend behind the Zealots. That's going to be very strong against the Zergling and Sunken mixture that we're seeing here for Killer. but Muta are coming in and likely to drag him back. Decent sunken defense at the other base as well, but a large force coming in at this point for Movie, and Moving is putting the pressure on. Are the Muta going to come back, or are they going to try to harass the main base of Movie? It looks like they're heading into the natural expansion as Movie does exactly the same. Archon taking a lot of hits, taking out a lot of Zerglings, doing a great job of tanking up that damage, but in the meantime, Corsairs are trying to deal with these Muta. The Corsair is going to go down. I'm not sure where the rest of the Corsairs are. Dragoons trying to get in there, but they're clumsy and big and fat, and they just can't. More Sunkens are being morphed in at the same time, and drones are coming out to try to clog up the front door here while he continues to produce some sort of attack units, whether they appear to be Zerglings or maybe some mixture of the two. And now, both players are in somewhat of a base race. However, there is strong defense at the third base of Killer. And if they trade out their full economies here of their mining bases, this is actually going to put Movie in a worse position, but the Muta have bugged out. They're not doing any damage in the natural. An act of God has occurred for Movie, and he is able to continue to put the pressure on. The Mutas are finally being pulled back, and he's going to be able to resaturate the main base while they do that and recoup back there. But, wow, the Archon gets some free big hits on those Muta, and the Muta are having a difficult time dealing with the Dragoon and Archon. The Zealot's not the problem here. But the Zealot is a problem because he can't even go with the Lings to try to take out the Dragoons because the Zealot Archon are going to be able to deal with that very easily as well. Archon coming into the main base to deal with the Muta back at home, and he also has some Dragoons there. But the Dragoon force up front is pushing in. It looks like he took out a hatchery, able to continue to push in. He's got the Archon coming in. He's going to get some hits. He can't hit the Muta because they're too just wiry over that Nexus. They back off. More damage being done in the base of Killer at this point. And I gotta say, Killer is in a rough spot here. He's going to lose that Sunken as well. Muta finally come back, and he's got Zerglings to finally take out their Dragoons, and it looks like he may finally clean this up. A few more units are coming in for Movie, but he's going to have to back up at this point. There's no way that he can deal with this. And at this point, it looks like Killer has regained control of this match. Movie continuing to try to stroll in some units here, but he takes out the Archon with Zerglings effectively, and that leaves his main base open for the Muta once again. And you can see that he took some fairly heavy casualties here as the Mutas go back into the main mineral line, where he still has a lot of minerals there, by the way. And this is a terrible position for Movie. Does he come back or not? He's got +1 Carapace on those Muta, and wow, that Sunken survived with 23 hit points, and don't forget, they slowly regen. That one hit that they might regen could make the difference, or not. He takes one hit and is down. Zealots and Dragoons are back in again, but there are a lot of Zerglings at this point. I'm not sure what the upgrades are for the Zerglings. More Zealots are coming in. Not many Muta back there. The Muta are going to go back to the main base and continue to do damage at the Econ line of Movie. And Killer is looking to be in a stronger and stronger position here as that third base is still mining unharassed. And GG coming out from Movie as he realizes that he cannot overcome that economy that has been developed by Killer. And I'm not sure he ever really saw that third base. So GG to Movie, as that guy just did. The emotion. So very good job by Killer taking down Movie. It looked like Killer was on a back foot for a little bit there, but the unharassed economy line on the third base was too much for the Protoss to take as he was being harassed and losing mining time and probes in order to deal with the game. So, good game. All right, let's stop the recording here, and we'll move on to the next game in the series. See you there. Start recording. Game 3! Welcome to it. We've got Jaehoon, and Jaehoon, going up against... Ooh, it looks like he's not feeling so well. He looks how I feel. Sick. We got Jaehoon going up against Zero. Now, Jaehoon and Zero may or may not have history with each other. I'm not really sure, but I don't think so. But I do know that Zero had some success in his career back in the day. He came in second in the ABC Mart MSL. Third and fourth finishing in the PD Pop MSL and the Lost Saga MSL, which the Lost Saga I'm pretty sure I actually casted back in the day. And he came in third or fourth in the 2012 TVing OSL against Jangbi. His losses are against Jangbi, Flash, Great, and Luxury. Great, I don't remember. Also played in the 2009 BlizzCon Invitational, lost to Effort, who's a very accomplished Zerg. And yeah. Hey, Smashka! Welcome back. Good to see you. I got on at 8:30 EST. That's my typical stream schedule. So I'm going to stop recording this actually for a second. Okay, so let's skip into the game here. It looks like they're going to be playing on Circuit Breaker as well. I've already covered this map, so I won't do the same. This allows us to jump right into the game if they give us the option. There we go. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? They're still talking! Alright, here we go. Got our cameras on our stars here, and let's get into it. There's the group right there in their suits and black ties and stylish shoes and awesome Korean hair that I can never hope to have because I'm not Korean and I don't have cool Korean hair. And here we go. Going up on, as we talked about already, Gore. What does that mean? Hungry apps say funny stuff. Going up on Circuit Breaker. Once again, this is another PVZ, a third one for the night. But it's great because I love PVZs. Just watch some SSL games. I should cast them as well. Yeah, I'll think about it. I know there's some coverage already by a couple of guys. I'm not sure who exactly, but if you guys want to see me do that as well, Friday's open. We can do it. And so is Saturday, so we can do StarCraft all weekend if you guys want to see it. Wow. Doesn't he look really intense and into this game? He's like, I'm ready to play a professional Broodwar game at 400 API. Just woke up from a nap. Alright, Protoss versus Zerg. What have we been saying? Well, every single game we've seen so far has had fairly similar, if not the exact same opening, where the Protoss grabs his natural expansion like so, with a forward fast expand. The Zerg goes into a quick expansion for himself, and he goes into Muta. Gets some map control with the Lings, which has proven to be fairly effective at denying hidden expansions, at least as we saw in the last game. While the Protoss builds up Corsairs, Citadel, and Templar Archives all at the same time. Gets his Corsairs out first, builds Zealots, starts his upgrade for Speed Zealots, starts his +1 upgrade, I think after that, although I'm not sure exactly which direction he goes. And then he gets some Templar out for Archon play, and then finally a DT or two depending on how successful he is with the Corsairs. So that's the general flow of the games that we've been watching. But, you know, you never know. I mean, Zero may decide to mix it up, and it doesn't look like we're going to see any play being mixed up by the Protoss player, which is okay. I mean, it's perfectly fine to go with what works, right? So I think it looked like it can be pretty strong against Zerg when you can secure that early expansion. Nobody plays on one base in Brood War at all as Protoss. Like, you never, ever see it unless it's against Terran. Or potentially another Protoss. So in PVZ, you pretty much always have to grab this expansion. It shuts down a lot of options for the Zerg player early on, and it puts you in a potentially strong position. Now, you can go Hatch first, or I'm sorry, Nexus first over the cannon, but as you get scouted early, you throw down the cannon for that insurance. It just risk or reward. You know, if he sees that you put down the Nexus first, you'll have a lot of pressure put on you by the Zerg player. Hey, thanks for following Elliot Grant. Elliot Grant. Oh yeah, Elliot Grant and Owampa. Appreciate you guys for joining the pub. I had a drink of water down here, and I don't know where it went, which is bad because I might dry out in a bit here. I was going to drink beer, but again, I think I might have a stomach flu, so that would be a terrible decision. But thank you for joining the pub and following along. We broke 100 followers, which is awesome after just a week of streaming. And glad to have you guys aboard. Well, let's keep going and see where this goes. If it keeps growing, I keep going and streaming Brood War for you guys. Or for you guys, with you guys. Where's my beer? Man, I wish I could keep a beer down right now, but I feel like that could put me over the edge. And I don't want to weaken the immune system any more than I need to, you know, because I got big plans for Friday to stream again. So plus I have a long day at work tomorrow. That would be a miserable experience if I decided to do that. I would stay home though if that happened. All right, so pretty much played out as we have expected so far. and certainly looking forward to seeing what the Zerg decides to do here with his harassment. You know, we've been seeing Corsairs every game, which can be difficult. Callow Slater, thanks for joining the pub and following along. Cheers to you, my friend. Glad to have you here. Hope you enjoy your stay. I feel like I should, you know, if we hit like 1,000 followers, I should invite you guys all over and we can just drink beers and talk StarCraft like at my house. that could be pretty fun. I'm not sure my wife would like that. A bunch of random. She's like, "Why are there so many nerds here?" Myself included. And I'd be like, "Well, could be worse. Could be strippers." Prefer that over strippers, I bet. Spire's going down. That is going to be scouted out by the Protoss. You can guarantee that he is not surprised whatsoever seeing that, but that's okay. Pylon getting dropped to try to block off that front a little bit better. Did I say your name right? Kalos Slater or Kalos Slater? One of the two. Pretty close. Pretty close. Another gateway going down. I would imagine he's got a few in the main base. Actually, I don't see any in the main base. Looks like that's just a second. I failed to mention that there is a hidden third for the Zerg player as well, in the same exact spot that we saw in our previous match, which is kind of interesting. Maybe it's not as hidden as I'm thinking or had originally thought. Maybe that's more of a natural pick that may be easier for the Zerg player to defend. You know, it also sets up good flanking opportunities if you can, as we saw in the last game. If you can break if you can hide Zerglings enough to build up enough of a force where, as Movie's tech switch came in, they're pointing out no gas, by the way, so that's kind of important. We'll talk about that in a minute. But if you can build up enough of a force to flank a large Zealot Dragoon force, you can actually hold it pretty well if you've got the Sunkens behind it. There's no way to run away, and there's too many sources of damage going on to the Protoss army for them. So that's what Zerg try to do. They try to flank wherever possible. And you guys probably know that, but just saying that in case you don't. Looks like the Protoss player is beginning to try to move out here. He's got what appear to be Speed Zealots. Scourge out on the field as well. Looks like the first Sunken is going down for defense for the Zerg player, but I think he's got enough to delay this for a little while anyway with his Speedlings. Second Creep Colony going down, so actually this could be dangerous for the Zerg player if the forces continue to stream in for the Protoss. But it looks like Protoss just wanted to push him back enough to get some breathing room and maybe get an expansion of his own. We've been seeing the Protoss struggle slightly with getting that third base up. Zerg have done a very good job of maintaining map control and presence. You know, this one Dragoon, even two Dragoons taking pot shots on the hatchery, not a big deal. Muta in the base, however, a big deal. And I'm starting to realize now we are not seeing any Corsair. Very heavy ground army. Big focus on the Sunken colonies here. One goes down. Second going down shortly after that. Looks like the Dragoons are going to be able to micro the Zerglings too much, but they leave up that Sunken. I think that might have been a mistake as they took a lot of damage on the Zealots, but there are still 6 units for him in the base, and those Dragoons are going to be able to do a lot of damage against the Muta as well. The Muta may be able to take this out with the help of the drones, but he's going to take a lot of damage from mining time loss, and the Zealots are on them in the back as well. Good micro from the Dragoons over here, avoiding any more damage from the Zerglings. He's going to maintain 6 Dragoons going up against what appear to be about 7 or 8 Muta, and he may get a free hatchery here, or at least the Evo Chamber. 9th Dragoon joining the fighter. Maybe that was a 7th. I can count. And now it looks like he's going to be pushed back, and he may lose a couple of Dragoons in the process. One goes down, a second may get clogged up here. He does. He's a little fat. Nope. Manages to push him back, but he hasn't started back mining in his main or his expansion there. Everything's back in his main, and it looks like he's going to move back to try to secure some more mining time. No cannons are back there, so those Muta are still free to do more harassment, and it doesn't look like at this point he's looking to invest in a cannon back there. Instead, he opts to bring those Dragoons back, but with that cliff there, those Muta stacking are going to get some good hits in all those probes or not. They're going to take damage instead because he was a little clumsy there. That's a big hit. However, he never went down from 2 bases mining. He's got his Hydrotech out, so he's got a switch available if he decides he needs it. He's got 2 Sunkens at that hidden third. He might decide to get a third. sunken. 2 Stargates going down for the Protoss late in the game here. I'm surprised, but it looks like he wants to make sure he can deal with those Muta as he continues to build that. Mutaling is very, very strong against Dragoon. Dragoon only cannot deal with Mutaling, as again, it's that 2-tiered attack where he takes a significant amount of damage from the ground and the air, and he can only choose one to attack. Do you hit the Muta or do you hit the fast-attacking Zerglings? Well, the AI is going to prioritize one over the other, and he's probably going to try to micro as best he can, but it's too much. You really struggle against that. That 3rd base is in full force there. He may be considering getting a 4th soon. He's got 5 hatcheries in production here, making plenty of units. I don't think he lost that hatchery at his expansion. And the Protoss is still on 2 bases. So really, for the damage that he took and the hairy situation that he was in momentarily and a couple of drones that he lost, the Zerg still feels ahead to me, which is becoming a common theme here. Now we've got 2 Corsair out, 2 more on the way. They should be able to deal with these stacked up Muta and at least do some strong damage here, especially with the Dragoons following behind them. That's going to push 0 at for now. But I'm sure he'll be back shortly. Now, as that Corsair number gets up into the 6 range, that really starts to deter the Muta play unless he pulls the Corsairs out enough where he feels comfortable in going back in for a second attack. A really strong Zergling Frank over there. He's going in for the Overlords for some reason with 4 of those Corsairs. The Muta are in the middle of the map, though, so they're not going to get too much done. A random drone stuck on the map in a way that is impossible, but still managed to happen. Corsairs run back to the natural to try to defend anything that might be coming in. Zergling still patiently hanging out, and it looks like the Protoss is finally going to see if he's got a 3rd expansion in that quote-unquote hidden location. But Lurkers are out on the field right now, and I don't think we've seen an observatory yet for the Protoss player. And frankly, he does not have the resources. And here comes in the run-by for the Zerglings right on the probes. Probes doing a really good job of trying to defend this, but the cannons both go down simultaneously, and the probes are exposed. The Protoss is all over the map. He's going to take out the Cybernetics Core before he can finish the upgrade, which is guaranteed to be the +1 upgrade on the Corsairs. Protoss is in trouble. Corsairs out on the field to try to do whatever they can. Clumsy Dragoon's trying to get back in the base, but he's going to lose that Nexus. It goes down. He's at the 1 mining base. There's no coming back from that. Corsairs doing what they can against the Muta, but it's too little too late. Looks like the Zerglings have done the damage that they came in to do. He's probably close to mined out in his main base. He finally has that robotics facility. I'm not even sure he's getting an observer out yet. He's made all these Corsairs, and he's starting to lose his Corsairs to the Spore Colony and the Hydras out there as he gets pot shots on Overlords and Muta. Now, the Muta are great to take out, but the Overlords, I mean, he's got 3 mining bases going on a 4th. He's going to be able to afford a few of these for the expense that he put into the Corsairs. I'm not sure he's going to get any return. Now, he's not close to mined out on that main base, but he's on 1 base. So the Protoss is in trouble here as the Zerg has a strong switch coming in with the Lurkers. Big force coming from the Protoss, which looks to be the final attack for him. He's got his observer in the way, or on the way. He's not going to be able to get too far in. 1 scourge. Oh, wow. The amount of scourge that he has there is going to be a huge deterrence against the observer there. And wow, not showing any fear here. All of the Overlords straight out on the field there and absorbing any amount of hits from the Corsairs. Not afraid to take those hits to ensure he takes out the observer, where we only see 1 at the moment. He is going to lose a couple of upfront Lurkers, but look at that Lurker line. It is deep. There is no way the Protoss is getting through there, even with an observer. Not with that sunken line and the links protecting him. So the Overlords are getting pushed back, and maybe I am wrong. Maybe I am wrong here. There are no ground forces at the moment, and nothing is coming in, and drones are coming off the line. But we still have the Lurkers behind the Spore Colony, and a couple coming in from behind. Can they get down on the ground quick enough? It doesn't look like it. Can they both go down? Wow, it looks like Zero is in a lot of trouble here. Oh my god, Protoss is taking out Sunken as they get made, and here come the Mutaling, but we've got Zealots to deal with the Zerglings, and the Dragoons deal with the Muta! No way! Protoss finds himself on 1 base and in a fantastic position here after all that he's gone through. What was the Zerg doing? What was he investing in? He overinvested in Lurkers! No! And Sunkens. All of his probes or all of his drones are now trying to morph into Sunkens that have failed over and over. And there is a very small force of units here. He is on 4 bases, though. He is on 4 bases. So unless we can see the Protoss fully follow through with this attack and do some legitimate damage, he may not be able to break this contain. Or I'm sorry, he may not be able to break this I'm brain dead on the word for whatever reason. It looks like the Zerg is coming out with the Zerglings and the Hydra, and he's starting to pick apart this army. And Observer or not, I'm not sure he can deal with it. I'm sorry, I meant turtling. I'm not sure why I froze on that for about 30 seconds of awkwardness. I'm still new, guys. It's been a while since I've gotten back into this. And the Protoss is once again scrambling, trying to figure out where is there a hole in the defense where he can attack. I mean, the Zerg has been on 3 base for long enough where he could afford those 6 Sunkens and losing all of the lurkers that he did. And he's got that 4th base mining again. Or mining, not mining again. I don't think the Protoss can get back in this. There's no way. How is he going to break this turtle? The defense is too strong. We've got Zerglings out on the map to do a nice flank here, as once again it looks like the Protoss is going to try. And this time the Zerg's taking the initiative and pushing out. And oh my god, look at that flank. There is a storm of Zergs and no storm for the Protoss to take it out. And there is no recovering, and there's the GG. Protoss goes down again. We have 3 Zergwings in a row tonight against our Protoss players, who each time put pressure on the Zerg, but not enough to carry out and follow through on a win. So GG to 0. Well played, and very nice flanking by him at the end there. There was just no way Protoss could get out of that. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me stop this recording, and we can get into the 4th game. Recording. Welcome back to the 4th game of, I believe this is Group D of Day 2 of the KSL. We're still in the group stages here in what appears to be the round of 16. I read somewhere it was round of 32, but I only see 16 players, so maybe it's a group format and an invite format, but I can't imagine Bisu would be in the group format. I don't know. We'll find out. If it's a round of 32, all the better. It means we've got more games to watch. It appears that our friends today are going to be playing on Fighting Spirit once again. So we saw Fighting Spirit, Circuit Breaker, Fighting Spirit. No Demian or Avalon tonight, which is fine. I don't know how much I'm a fan of snow maps, to be honest. The contrast kind of bugs me a little bit. That's all right. I gotta get my blanket. Hold on a sec. It's cold in here. My feet are cold. And let's get into the match. We've got Free versus Mong, and we saw that Free has a 55% win rate against Terran. Let me move up here a little bit so we can get closer into the game, and we'll talk about the stats again as the game starts. Here's Mong drinking some water down, and Free, maybe a familiar face for some of you guys, discussing with Bird, one of the guys in the Twitch chat. I couldn't remember if he was on SKT1 or something else. He said it was Wujing Stars. And I think he's correct. 0 as well. He was confirming. So thank you, Bird, for that. I appreciate it. I don't have to look it up, which is cool. And he's going up against Mong, who apparently is like the at the moment, he appears to be one of the stepping stones for prize fighters to beat up on as they make their way to the championship belt match 20-0 with 18 knockouts against guys who are fighting in the wrong weight class and things like that. And I'm not going there. That was not a weight joke, by the way. Just throw that out there just coincidentally. And Free may get a free win against this Mong guy. We'll have to see. So, TVP, I don't know anything about the Terran player here, but this is Mong himself. There he is. Our friend of Kong, Mong. We got to make up a nickname for this guy. Let me know what you guys think. Fighting in the Mong weight class. Very good. Very good. I like it. And here's our Protoss friend, Free. So Free, if we looked at the stats in the beginning, we went over it in the stream. We'll go over it again for the video. He had a 55% win rate against Terran. And he is 3-7 in his last 10 matches. Not very good. Not a very good rate. But he's going up against a Terran who, by the way, is 0-1 for his Broodwar career, as measured by Kongdu and whatever leagues, the KSL and I'm sure other leagues, whatever they look at as counting as professional games. Probably specific tournaments, pro tournaments, sanctioned tournaments maybe is the best way to put it. So anyway, we haven't seen a Protoss versus Terran in a while. I think we watched one or two the first night. Who did we see? I think we did. Yeah, we definitely did. We saw Haya versus... Oh, that was TVZ. Maybe we didn't see a TVP. No, we definitely did. Whatever. One of you guys could tell me what it was. Or I could look it up, but it's not that important. Anyway, here, so we don't have a really good feel for, or I don't anyway, for what builds each player is going. I think in the last time we saw a fast expansion by the Terran player with a bunker. And I'm not really sure what the Protoss player is intending on going here. He may stick to one base. He's got the cybernetics core down. Back in the day, you used to go in with a quick Dragoon, basically, get range upgraded very quickly. You could go to quick Reaver Tech from there and do some drops and quite a bit of damage on the Terran player. I mean, you got to remember, those 15 mineral scarabs do some significant damage if they connect with the right group of SCVs. And the area of effect was huge, the amount of damage that they could do. So, obviously, you always hope for the Miracle Scarab, but as often as you get the Miracle Scarab, 3 times as often you get the dud, where they move the SCVs around enough where the Scarab can't decide which way to go. Oh, that way, no, that way. Explodes, runs out of time. They're suicide bombers on a timer, man. They don't know where to go, and sometimes they just run out of time. That's okay. He is indeed going to get range, so we should see a Dragoon or two to go out and harass the Terran player and keep him honest, make sure that he's building some level of defensive units here. Not really seeing anything too telling. Oh, Engineering Bay going down to stop the expansion and scout the expansion of the Protoss player. Protoss player has to decide now, do you take out the Engineering Bay or do you go and put some pressure on the Terran player? So that little bit of build time or delay time caused by Mong might keep free from doing any significant damage. Had he pushed up sooner, he might have gotten the SCV building the command center and delayed that, but I really don't think he could have gotten that far, to be honest. But it's something that you have to worry about. Bunker out. He has 2 Marines in it, I think we saw. Factory going down. He's got range on the way, so he should be able to maybe squeeze in a couple of hits on those on that bunker, but we'll have to see what he decides to do. He might just leave the ring of death outside of it so the Terran player can't move out, and hope to contain him as best he can and stop the scouting, which is also important as well. And oh no, the Dragoon! The Dragoon fat-fingered his last kill, and he's going to see the expansion and nothing further. So he does get killed at the ramp. I mean, he needed to expect the expansion. However, ooh, we have a proxy pylon here, so we may see a proxy not starport. Unlikely to see a proxy starport, but we may see a proxy robotics facility and proxy reavers. Now, what he really wanted to scout for, and I think why the other commentators got as excited as they did, besides being Korean, ooh, good damage going down on that bunker, by the way. Second factory as well, machine shop. But it basically gave him a tell: is he going quick reavers, or is he going to ensure that he's got a late game to transition to? We are going to see the proxy robo, which is pretty huge, because you got to remember, shuttles are insanely slow without the speed upgrade, and nobody gets the speed upgrade until it's later in the game, and there's a real reason to get in and out, you know, with zealot drops and things like that. So, oh man, those Dragoons just draining the minerals. I hate that feeling. You're just repairing, and you're like, I got to make a tank, and you're like about to hit the button, and then they drop below 150. You're like, I can't make a tank. And then you stop repairing for a second, you can finally get one out. Now this tank may or may not push back 4 Dragoons. They may decide to go in and try to snipe it. We saw this, I think, in our last TVP. We have 5 Dragoons here, so they are certainly capable of doing it. Those 5 Dragoons are starting to get to the point where they can maybe take down that bunker if he is not on top of that repair. He's got 5 SCVs there, and it looks like they are struggling to keep that in the position that, or at the health level that they want to be at. I didn't realize the vultures go for a run by here. They don't see the robo though. They go right by it, and I don't think they actually saw it. Their field of vision may not have captured it. And we have a nice pylon wall block by the by Free, which is a great way to go, by the way, because vultures take forever to kill a building. They do bonus damage against things like probes, but against buildings, forget it. It takes 1.5 years to kill a pylon. Unless you've got, 200 vultures, and then it one-shots it. But, other than that, it does take a while. There's the shuttle going in with what I would guess to be a Reaver, but at the moment, I haven't seen one built. Nope, he's going in now. So I'm not sure what he was using the shuttle for before. He was dropping something off. And again, the vultures come in. They scout it! They see it! And they drop some spider mines. And oh my god, those spider mines are huge. But, oh, he drops his Zealot just in time to pick up the Reaver. But he has seen it. So Mong may be able to defend against this. But he may not. It may be too late. He is going to pull back into his main base. And the Reaver is going to go for a lucky scarab or two here. We have spider mines out of the map. I don't think we have an observer yet. And the Reaver drops. And what does he get? Is he going to be a dud? It's going to be a dud. It gets nothing. It doesn't even get the SCVs that it pops over. And that's the problem with the duds. They don't even get what they pop over. And big spider mine damage going down. Only one connects, but you can see one spider mine takes out, what is it, 125 damage or something like that? That's huge. And now Free is keeping Mong pretty well occupied here with this Reaver drop, as all of his units are forced to stay and try to defend against what could be a nasty Reaver. Reaver going into the expansion, though, at this point. Is he going to get one? He does. He gets what appeared to be maybe two, and he takes out all of the Marines with a single Scarab. Might get a third SCV here, but no. Tank sieging up is going to deter that faux show. Shuttle is going to skim right by the base that Mong has put down, that third base. That's unfortunate for Free. And Mong also has some spider mines down in the expansion for Free, which is always a hassle because you can't see him. You send a probe over there. The probe doesn't set him off, and you finally can make your Nexus. And it looks like the Nexus is going to go down. Protoss is slightly behind the Terran. You usually want to be ahead by an expansion against Terran when you are Protoss. So Mong is actually in a pretty good shape. Maybe he will get his first pro win here. Looks like we're going to see a pylon wall up against the any potential vulture harass that'll go into it. He is going to know that's there. Obviously, he took out the spider mines with the Dragoon, so his intentions are quite clear. Citadel of Adun is down, so we can assume that there will be some speed zealots coming in to help clear out mines and take out tanks. Turret almost taking out. Oh no, we have another dud. He can't decide which way to go. And dud. He is going to get the turret, but that would have been huge if that connected. Unfortunately, it's not the case, and now he's wasting scarabs on a command center, which you never want to do because they take a little while to build those stupid things, longer than you would expect. I think they hold 5 or 8, I forget. And there's a damage upgrade, which isn't particularly useful, though. You might get them against late game for things like Goliaths and stuff like that, where I think they do 100 damage, and then you upgrade them to 125, or maybe it's 75 to 100. Again, I haven't played in a while. I gotta get some games in and verify this garbage and filth that I spew to you that is incorrect. I apologize for that. Looks like the Goliaths have gotten the range upgrade, which is going to be huge against defending against those shuttles, especially if he continues on with the slow shuttles. I would expect that at some point in the near future, he will get speed. But if he doesn't have it, they're going to be able to take him out pretty quickly, especially with a turret getting in a couple of shots. Observer is out on the field. He's going to be able to clean up any spider mines between him and his opponent. Well, there was an observer out on the field. Good scan by Mong to capture that, or maybe the turret saw that. I'm not really sure which. He does have 3 comsats, so he's got plenty of scan, and he doesn't have any other reason to use them. There's no mules or anything like that, so they're purely for scan, which is always kind of cool. This observer is going to make it at least a little closer to the base so he can clear out some more spider mines. Decent zealot force. No upgrades on the Protoss units at this point. It looks like he's getting ready for an engagement here, but the Terran is pretty well turtled up. Reaver's heading back up, but it looks like he may lose the shuttle. No, the Reaver's going down to Vultures. Main engagement going on. He was hoping to pull back units. It looks like he may have. The tanks are completely naked. He loses almost all of them to the Zealots, and the Goliaths are going down as well very quickly. 1 tank left. The last tank is getting taken out. Mong has been had, And he is going down to Dragoons and Zealots. The Dragoons are going to be able to take out those Vultures, no problem. In the meantime, he sends a couple of Zealots to the third base. Third base is going to be able to take out that tank potentially. More Zealots streaming in to do more damage. And now he's on the natural expansion, moving in past the bunker. Takes out a couple of supply depots, which may actually affect Mong, although he lost a lot, so maybe not. Zealots taking a big Vulture hit, but they're continuing to push in. Tank unable to take out everything before it goes down. The main base, or the third base, has now been compromised, trying to bring his probes back, or his drones back, or his SCVs back, to whatever they are, to his main base there, mining, to help aid in any way as they can, but there is only one tank and a Wraith for some reason to try to do any damage he can, and this is probably going to spell defeat for our friend Mong. It doesn't look like he's going to get his first win of his pro career here. He's going to go down 0-2 to Free, who has done a beautiful job of pulling his forces back with that Reaver play, and Mong way overcommitted with the number of forces that he sent back, and Free is in great position with his 3 bases up and mining. Mong is down to 1 base mining and losing his SCVs very quickly to these Zealots and these Dragoons. He's got a couple of tanks left that are going to siege up on the hill, but at this point the damage has been done. He's losing an armory. He's going to stop mining with this expansion here. No, he's not. He's going to just kamikaze in his SCVs to try to get any minerals they can. They're desperate. Trying to take out that armory was an interesting idea by Free, but heavy casualties suffered by the single tank. That third base still not mining anything, and there's no hope of that being defended anytime soon unless he sends the Wraith over there, but I think he lost the Wraith. He does have a science vessel which will help him defend against a large clumping of units with a good EMP, but it may be too little too late as the main base, or I'm sorry, the third base of Mong has been taken out, but Free is stuck under the trees! No! The Dragoons are trying to catch some shade before the game goes on, and they almost lose a CC, but it looks like they're going to be able to take that out. They do have range, of course, and Dragoons do some serious damage against buildings. And oh, I think it's going to make it, though. However, I'm not sure what value it provides at this point. A drop coming in a counter drop coming in, for that matter, for Mong. He gets 1 spider mine down for the Vulture, but it gets taken out before going to do any damage. The rest of the attack is moved to the main base, but it looks like that got cleaned up by a Protoss. Or a Dragoon. He's got 1 kill on that Goon, and the dropship was very low, so it didn't look like it would have gotten very far even against 1. He does manage to repair that CC, but I'm not sure he's got the minerals to make that worth it. I mean, get it out of the red, I guess, but you gotta make units, man. You're not gonna be able to defend against this much longer. There's still a lot of spider mines in the middle, so if Free is not careful, he could lose a lot of units, but he doesn't really have any reason to head that direction. It looks like he's going to take out a Free observer or 2, but there appears to be 4 or more on the map, and the Dragoons are there to help defend, and he's going to try to stop this push before it gains any traction, sending in a huge Zealot force, running in with the spider mines, absorbing the hits so that the damage can be done by the defense matrix on the Wraith. So the damage can be done by the Dragoons, and he's going to take out all the lower level tanks and once again take out all of the SCVs that are mining. And there's just nothing left for Mong at this point to do. He's got vision up on the cliff there. He's able to hit the siege tank, and keep in mind there's the... I forgot all about this. There's the miss rate, but GG from Mong. He loses the game to Free, who played, in my opinion, a brilliant game of Protoss versus Terran. Once again, the critical point in that game was pulling the units back because he was scared of the Reaver, way overcommitting, leaving his tanks exposed, giving Free full reign of just tearing them apart with those Zealots, running in with those speed Zealots. And Mong looks, oh my god, he looks dejected. I mean, he looks like a Mong that just got spanked for being a bad Mong. You ever see Detroit Rock City? Kid's got that older brother Mongo. Was it Mongo or Chongo? I don't know. Mongo's not like Chongo at all, by the way. Or Mongo, whatever. Alright guys, so that was a really interesting match. I enjoyed that. Let's go to the interview for you know why. Sit down! We can't see! Oh, I gotta stop recording. You guys don't need to hear this. GG, thanks for joining in. Again, tune into twitch.tv/RisePubGames for more. Follow me on Twitter. I'll keep uploading this to YouTube if you don't capture it during the stream. And thanks for watching. See you in the next round. I intend on streaming StarCraft again on Friday, probably 8:30 till question mark. because I'm crazy. And then maybe even again on Saturday. We'll see. We'll see how we go. If I end up getting the stomach flu, that may change a little bit, but we'll find out tomorrow if I wake up vomiting or not. Half-worked. Thanks for following the pub. Glad to have you aboard. Hope you enjoy your stay, and I hope you enjoyed the games tonight if you were here for the entirety of them.